And also too, the fuel goes down in the engine. It shouldn't potentially hurt it, but the only thing I'm concerned is about the oil. And the way I'm going to try to purge the stuff out of the system, it should clear everything out no matter what gets in there. So it helps me from doing that. Because inside the injectors, is we got different O-rings in there. Is you got the fuel part of the injector, then you got the oil part of the injector. So it shouldn't technically hurt anything. So I do have a liquid extractor that if I do see a lot of fluid going down in there, I'll pull it out. But on a lot of the fuel, on a lot of the forums and stuff like that and videos that I found searching all over the internet, is to pull the back one out first. So that way, because that's all the fluid will go in that one, because that's the furthest away from all the oil. And if it does get any massive amounts of oil, it'll go in that back one and it'll contain it in that one, and then you can get it out of there. It's the one video that I've seen, the only video online I've seen the guy actually do this, is he just pulls them out one by one. And he also puts them back in there, but I don't see him ever fire it up or purge it. So we're going to try it like this. All right. All right. Next step is to take these oil things that's supposed to help get away from the distributor. There's Allen's too, right there. There's one for each injector. What I'm going to do is take them off individually and set them aside so I know where they go back to where they came from. So, and it's the number 5 Allen. Let's see. That's what it looks like. Definitely make sure you don't drop anything in the motor, especially when you do those little plugs. Just take your time, go slow, so that way you don't potentially drop them, because there's a lot of holes in the head that they can go down in. Recap, I've learned something new. The bolts, the back bolt right here, you don't need to take out, because when you push this little metal piece up to take it out, you push it up and you pull up and it actually goes over top of that bolt. Learning experience. So basically the only one you need to take out is this one down here, and you're fine, because once you take this out and put it in and tighten this one down, it presses against that other bolt. Gotcha. Now I know how to do it. So I found that out when I did this one. I took this bolt out and slid it and tried to pull it off, and it pulled right over top. So that's why you don't have to do that. That's why nobody says anything about it on the forums. So just to let you know that. You don't have to take the top bolt that's closest to the intake out for the injector. You just take the bottom one out and then slide them right out. Basically they say any 6-inch pry bar will work. Alright. So push it up and then pop up. There we go. There's one. Let's see. Make sure when you're pulling it out that this brass seal is on there, because if it's not, it's down in the inside the sleeve and you got to pull it out. So just make sure you do that. So you got them all out. So that's a little bit of oil and diesel fuel will get in there. So, oh, it don't look too bad. So here are the 4 injectors from the driver's side, closest to the grill on the way back. I'm cleaning them now. So, but when we take these seals off, we take all these seals off, not to use anything metal. You can if you want, because it's your injectors, but I'm not. I'm going to get me something plastic or something wood to pull them off, because I don't want to nick any of this stuff, cause anything not to seal right. Alright, I got all the seals off, the brass washers off. Do not use anything metal on these injectors. They will scuff, scar, and everything else in blue. What I used is a copper piece of wire that I got off my welder. These seals are so old, and so this was the center seal, and this thing's just like flat. So some seals, if they've never been replaced, they have 2. Some of them have 1 in the center. It all depends on what it is or wherever it's been replaced. But to take these off, what I did was get the copper piece of wire, get up and around it, and go underneath it. So basically it came out of both ends, and then I could pull it and wiggle it off. I figured that out after doing 2 of them. So, learning process. But I was using pieces of plastic to do it, so this is the best way and fastest way, because you can control it. Don't worry about it coming off. Just don't poke yourself. And once you get that off, the only bad thing I had to use was I had to get a pair of pliers to get these brass fittings off. I could not get anything underneath them. But I took my time, barely touched it, and wiggled it back and forth and pulled it right off. I mean, just got it to come up, and then I got my hands on it. Took my time, barely put any pressure to it, so that way it wouldn't scuff anything, wouldn't scratch anything or anything like that. Then I used a brass bristle brush to clean the tip of it and clean right here, and then got in here and cleaned it all up. So got all 4 of them done, because I'm doing one side at a time. Did 4. Now I'm going to get to putting the seals back on. Okay. Alright, I'm going to do the injector O-ring seals now. There's all of them. Should have 7 pieces in the kit. Steel ring, light thin blue ring, orange, flat square, pink, and then the copper. Alright, see I already did one. I'll do the next one. Copper ring, steel ring, another flat washer, I put some oil on this because it's square and I really don't want to. Try not to twist it when you put it on. Make sure it's straight. Get something to press it. I'm just using a piece of plastic. Seat it against the washer. Alright, I want you to do that. Thin blue one. Make sure that's on there. Now this one is quite hard, but it'll go on there. There we go. Now the orange one. There's that one. And now I gotta do the next 4, put these in, and then pull out the other 4 and do those. Alright, I just took all 4 glow plugs out of this side. There was some oil around it, so oil's gonna leak down. It's a 10mm. Usually extension. Pulled them right out. You shouldn't have no problems with them as long as they're not all nasty right here. Sometimes, what I've been hearing, sometimes when they're really bad, sometimes this thing will fall down the cylinders, but that's if like you probably had a real nasty problem to cause that, to have that to happen. So we got these out so that way I can clean the stuff out of the cylinders and then also put new ones in. Here we go with the first injector. I think it's definitely not want to press down in there with the crap. But that's the way it goes. That should have seated it. Just push it down with your hand, then finish doing it with the screwdriver underneath. Put it right here. And just push down, and it goes right to the ground. Gotta get the rest of them in there.